Arts and culture bring communities together. Each step in this journey aims to strengthen cultural ties between countries around the world. The importance of the intercultural collaboration in visual arts, music, theater, dance, and literature extends to the larger creative sphere and across art forms. As we walk through this exploration comes extraordinary passion and beauty in every unique value, practice, and discipline that define each society. Arts and culture go beyond being a medium of self-expression and a canvas for our imagination. It is our footprint, our history, and the value we pass down to generations. Investing in culture is essential in every nation's development. We need to recognize its impact and contribution to our enrichment, broadening our minds, deepening our compassion, and strengthening our bond with the rest of the world. Our space invites everyone to immerse through arts and culture, Norwegians and beyond. Because together, we can make a difference.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the opening of Borderless Beyond the Frame. So I'm Sigrid. I'm the co-founder of Norwegian Culture Center and the artistic director. And I'm very pleased to be here with you tonight. So as you know, we will have a wide spectrum of artworks on display tonight, featuring artists from all over the world. From vibrant pieces to thought-provoking installations, this exhibit truly embodies the theme of Borders Beyond the Frame. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight to celebrate the power of art to transcend boundaries and bring us all together. So this exhibition runs parallel with the Burst Gallery in Oslo, and we have them with us now. So with no further ado, let's hear from the founders of NCC, John and Olga Vikan.
Thank you so much, Sigrid. Dear distinguished guests, artists, friends and family, welcome to the VIP opening of Borderless Beyond the Frame, the second hybrid art exhibition by the Norwegian Cultural Center. We are thrilled to have you all here tonight to celebrate the amazing works of art by the artists who have put their trust in us and have been brought to life through the hard work and dedication of our team. At the Norwegian Cultural Center, we are committed to promoting and supporting up-and-coming artists from around the world. We believe that art has the power to connect people across borders, cultures, and languages, and to foster a deeper understanding and appreciation of diversity that makes our world so rich and fascinating. We are honored to be able to host this exhibition in both Oslo and Singapore, and to share these important messages with a global audience through our live stream. Thank you all for joining us today and for being part of our mission to create a more connected and understanding world through the power of art. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Olga Vikan, the project leader of Borderless, who will share more about the incredible works on art displayed today.
Thank you. Thank you, Jon. Dear guests here in Oslo and all people who are watching us live now, I'm absolutely honored to be standing in front of you here and be a leader of the Borderless Beyond the Frame. And I'm proud of our team who worked tirelessly to bring incredible exhibition to life. And I'm humbled by the trust and support of the talented artists whose works are displayed here today. And actually, this is the second run of Borderless. It's following the first one, which we have last year, also in Oslo and Manila. And it's been an amazing journey so far. And we are thrilled to have the opportunity to share this experience with you in Oslo, in Singapore, and online. We are also excited to share that we have many interesting and inspiring locations in mind for subsequent event. And we believe that each of new location bring us new perspective, new insights, and new opportunities for cross-cultural exchange and understanding. I'm also honored to have opportunity to work with our visionary, Valerie Harley, who invented the borderless concept and who is actually a passion and dedicated, inspired for all of us. So now I would like to go back to Singapore and give a stage to the Valerie, who will share more about the concept of Borderless and this incredible exhibition. Thank you so much.
All right, that's me. Okay, so thank you for the kind words, Olga, John, Sigrid. Okay, hello everyone, our dear guests. Okay, can't see. There. All right. Okay, so let's compromise. So this is fine, right? Yeah. Oh. Okay. I think this, yeah, okay, there. Earlier it was for a taller person. So, all right, so hello everyone, dear guests, Oslo audience, and our live stream viewers. Welcome to Borderless. So don't worry, I know everyone's excited to get us going. You know, I promise I'll be the last one to read a speech, or maybe not. So yeah, I'll talk about Beyond the Frame. So Beyond the Frame aims to explore the social impact of film and social media content creation on impact of film and social media content creation on gender and race. So this theme was carefully decided on because we wanted to create an immersive experience that dives deep into the intersection of visual art, representation, and inclusion. Through a curated collection of visual art from a diverse group of artists, this exhibition provides a powerful commentary on how these mediums have shaped our understanding of identity and culture. We are honored to be exhibiting a truly wide spectrum of artists and artworks, ranging from a video work made by an artist collective, an online platform for research on civilization, climate cycle, and a series of fabric sculptures that comment on the mutilation of a human body made by a Belgian artist, Caroline Herc, to an acrylic painting in which American-born artist April Popko subtly captures the essence of living abroad and being unable to communicate in a foreign language. So moving forward, we hope that as you journey through this exhibition, you'll gain insight on how visual art is a powerful tool for social commentary and change, and leave inspired to contribute to positive change in the world. I'm not done yet. But again, this part is for me to thank everyone who made this happen. So thank you to our artist managers, Kaya and Federico, for discovering these artists. Thank you to our creative and marketing duo who have been working so hard to produce engaging materials for this show. And of course, thank you to NCC and Borderless team for their unwavering passion for the work that we do and their humbling faith in me. To be honest, it's very humbling, and this is actually scaring me. Like everyone just looking at me. So let's make this stop. So my time is up. But last, definitely not the least, I would also like to share that we have artists who flew to Oslo just for this exhibition. Can you believe that? So I believe they will also want to share a few words. And with that, I'd like to pass on the spotlight to Oslo. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yes, as Valerie said, we have some artists who actually presented physically today with us in Oslo. So I would be super happy to hear a few words from you. I think, Ellen, you can maybe start first.
Yeah, this is our. Thank you very much inviting here. Hi, everyone. I am very honored to be presented here at Borderless exhibition, which And I'm especially grateful for this opportunity because for me it was my first digital experience and I wanted to show the full potential that especially digital exhibition can provide us with, the advantages of digital art in comparison with only physical exhibition. And thank you very much for this new experience, which actually planted a seed to my new project that I will develop. Thank you to all of you. It was a very valuable experience.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ellen. Thank you for your kind words. And yeah, Singapore also support you. Yeah, I have to say that I absolutely agree with Ellen because when I saw her work, I really understand why we're doing it digitally. So just find your name and you will understand what I mean by that. And we also have one more artist who would like to say some words. So this is April, please.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored to be part of this show, which you have worked so hard to make really a success already, because I'm impressed how the art world is very physical with flashing paint and canvases and all these things can be blended with the digital technology, which is absolutely amazing, and a humongous honor to be part of a show in Singapore at the same time. It's absolutely a miracle to have technology have this happen for artists, and I feel very honored to be part of a group of artists who are emerging on such an interesting platform with this digital world. I was super excited when you invited me because I've never been to Scandinavia before, and the energy that I had from you and from your whole team, from the Norwegian Cultural Center and the Borderless team and the Verse Gallery, I felt a very nice energy, and that's actually what pulled me to bring my friends and my team here all the way from Prague. So for me, this is a big deal to come here and to have this opportunity to show the world all of our art in this way. And I just really appreciate also the Norwegian people. We're all impressed by the wonderful energy that they give. It was like unicorns and rainbows everywhere we go, even in the rain.
Somebody should stay optimistic, you know?
Yes, yes. But I appreciate that you have this platform because my art is mostly about how to communicate energy. And to be able to be with a group of artists doing that same thing it's a pleasure. So thank you very much. And I hope I can meet every single one of you today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, April, for your kind words. You, of course, will have opportunity. We are open for 4 days here. It's just to take it. And now I would like to be back to Singapore.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you from Oslo. We have some fantastic artists that are joining us. So, so for later today, we will have a speaker at 8 o'clock. So stay tuned. Some nice food and beverages for you all, and wonderful music from DJ Ken. Woo! Okay. And finally, I just want to say the official opening of Borders Beyond the Frame. Woo!
Hi to our Oslo audience, so you can just say hi here. That's fine. Yay! really well.
Excuse me, guys. So, today we are very fortunate to have Professor Ruth Brenchner, who I am live streaming our audience from Adelaide, Australia. To know more about our guest speaker, Ruth Rentschler is a cross-disciplinary scholar whose work is located within the discipline of arts management with a focus on social inclusion. She was awarded the OAM for service to education, to the arts, and to the community in 2012, and the Vice Chancellor's Award for Outstanding Community Service. She draws on her understanding of governance, of management, marketing, art, and the artist in examining galleries, museums, festivals, performing arts, and digital media. Ruth Frenchler is a dedicated researcher within the context of arts and culture and has received both national and international recognition for her distinguished contributions. Today, she will focus on how digital technology is driving change in arts audiences. Welcome to Ruth Frenchler.
Good afternoon. Today I'm speaking about immersive experiences, how digital technology drives change in audiences in the arts. Well, who am I? You've been given a little background on me. I do have a background in art history. My first degree was an honours degree in art history and Germanic studies, and I'm very interested in leadership and governance in the arts. And I have a long-standing interest in arts audiences and digital technology and do a lot of work in arts and disability. I'm the chair of the Australian Dance Theatre, the former chair of No Strings Attached Theatre of Disability, and I'm a member of the Contemporary Collectors Committee at the Art Gallery of South Australia. I'm going to speak about Melbourne now. Oh, I got it? Yeah. Heaven's screen. There it is. The magazine just arrived 2 days ago. Melbourne Now is an immersive exhibition in the city of Melbourne, and it covers artists in Melbourne and in the surrounds, contemporary artists. And over 70 artists were commissioned to do particular works for this exhibition. And you can see over 200 artists from Melbourne and surrounds, including the state of Victoria, in which Melbourne is located, in this exhibition. And the exhibition takes up the whole gallery. It's a whole gallery experience. The director, Tony Elwood, a very creative and innovative director, said, "It's a show-stopping and dynamic survey of work, of the limitless creativity empowering this city and its surrounds." And here are some examples of some of the artists. Because they're contemporary, you may not have heard of them, but they have got amazing works. One of the works is this work by a Vietnamese artist living in Melbourne. Melbourne is a multicultural city where in Australia in total, 55% of people in Australia have one or more parents born overseas. So my children have two parents born overseas. Both parents were born overseas. So we're definitely typical of the new Australia, the multicultural Australia. And so this exhibition as Arts Hub, the digital newsletter, if you like, job-seeking portal, said it's a unique moment for anyone interested in contemporary art to take the pulse on where art is directing us. And it's a complete mixture of the real and the virtual. And this example here is one of those examples. It takes up a whole room in the exhibition, and you walk into this virtual space, but it's like virtual reality. You feel like you're in a shrine. It's a room-sized, neon-lit temple constructed from thousands of computer fans by emerging artist Rel Fram, Vietnamese Australian, as I said, which draws on the artist's Vietnamese heritage and interest in gaming culture. So again, you can see how contemporary artists are merging traditional art with digital art, such as gaming, and creating something new. It's very colourful, it's immersive, you can walk into it, you feel like you're part of it, you're co-creating the experience. Audiences are attracted to the blurred boundaries between the digital and the physical realms in this exhibition. And I'll show you some pictures of some of the audience members as we move through this brief presentation. The audience experience vibrant diversity of Melbourne's creative communities through collaborations with partners such as Multicultural Arts Victoria. I used to be on the board and the deputy chair for 9 years of Multicultural Arts Victoria, and that's why I've highlighted that arts organisation where I sat on the board, but also because it is about multicultural arts, and they partnered with the National Gallery of Victoria, where Melbourne now is located. So Melbourne now wanted to tap in to the multicultural artists in Victoria through an arts organisation that had very close connections to them. And partnerships is another way that arts organisations are extending their audiences, using the audience databases of organisations such as Multicultural Arts Victoria to reach new audiences. So the artists, the audiences, the designers and the creators in the exhibition created something that Arts Hub said was exhilarating, exhausting, but a total viewing experience. And I can vouch for that because I went to it a couple of weeks ago in order to prepare for this presentation. And you might like the tiger that you see there, all made out of materials. Hi from Mexico. Hello, Emmanuel. I'm in Adelaide in Australia. And here are two audience members. You can see how young they are. But traditionally, artists in galleries, in particular, art galleries, have been old and white. That's in Western countries. So more my age than perhaps the age that some of you people are. Hi from Tel Aviv. And so this is a younger group that has come into the gallery. They are hard to reach audience members that galleries have typically had difficulty attracting to the gallery. People who are in their 20s to 45. That's usually a gap in gallery audiences. So very interesting to see how they do it. Hi from Sweden. So the audiences come because they can see things happening such as exclusion is being unpacked. There is no one history being told, and I'll give you examples of this as we go through. There is a post-colonial view of the city. Remember that Australia was established 250 to 300 years ago by the British as a colony. Singapore was also a colony. And at the time when I was a young woman, we only got one history, a British history, and we learned about the history from settlement. Hi from South Africa. And now there are many histories told. The history of First Nations people who've been here 60 to 70,000 years. the history of other nations who've come to Australia after the British, the Vietnamese after the Vietnamese War, the Chinese who came in the 1851 gold rush, the Afghans who came also not long after the gold rush and intermarried with the First Nations peoples, and so on and so forth. So many of these different stories are present in this exhibition, and so it draws a different audience. And the way they do that is that they have 19th century colonial paintings illustrating the porous flow between histories and ideas, demonstrating that there are conversations about colonial power that take into account things such as the Me Too conversation, same-sex marriage, things that have been taboo in the past. And here is an example of that, where on the walls you've got colonial landscape paintings. Very, very beautiful. I really adore them. These ones are painted by an early French uh, uh, explorer who came to Australia and painted our landscape. And in the glass cases, although you can't really see it, Megan Evans has got The Wills, where she's questioning the one true understanding of Australian history. She's bringing out the colonialist tensions, and she's questioning property ownership, which has generally, traditionally, from settlement been white male property ownership. And therefore, she's sending powerful messages about these different stories. Another example, which I really liked, is this trompe l'oeil at the Melbourne Now exhibition, where the whole wall, the large wall you can see in front of you, is painted like a traditional landscape, but it's got a door painted in it, which is slightly ajar so that you can see light coming through it, giving you the sense that it's virtual, not real. So it's positioning the real with the irreal and setting up a tension between what artists traditionally saw as a real landscape painting and what it really is, which is a vision on a two-dimensional surface. And there are other examples on the right-hand side of the screen. And this is Julia Ciccaroni's work on display. Now, it's very interesting that the last two works were by female artists. In Australian galleries, female artists have been underrepresented significantly. They were only really recognised in the 1980s, and then galleries started to collect them in greater number. And the prices for their artworks are still significantly lower than for similar works by male artists. So there's been a perceived discrimination against female artists. And if you are a female artist of colour, a multicultural artist, a First Nations artist, you have a double or a triple bind, not just the single bind of being a female. So these sorts of stories are coming out as well and being told by giving more female artists a place in this exhibition. So the audiences see these different ways of presenting exhibitions, and they see artists as whistleblowers, as agitators. They see artists as irreverent. They're not part of the ivory tower. They're not part of the inner circle. They are just like them, like the people in the audience. And they are also representing Melbourne now, which is seen as being an edgy city, contemporary with its laneways covered in street art, and street art is commissioned to brighten up the walls of the city. So there's a kaleidoscopic counterbalance and a jostle of media, new and old technologies sitting side by side. And this appeals to new audiences. But interestingly, it also appeals to audiences like me, the art lover, the older audience, the female highly educated woman, the typical woman who is an audience member. Hello from Israel. The exciting thing about this exhibition is that it doesn't define art just as high art. It sees fashion as art. And therefore, you see here a woman having her dress painted, and was in it shows you how technology can be used, and this was presented on the screen. It wasn't really happening, it was happening in a fashion show, and it's part of the Alexander McQueen exhibition, which is on at the same time on another campus of the National Gallery of Victoria. And so I put it in because this exhibition has also drawn a similarly diverse crowd, and it's such a great example of what technology can do. It's the kind of technological arm there that looks like something you'd find in a car factory used to paint cars today. And here it's painting the dress, the designer dress. So it's cheeky, it's irreverent, it makes you giggle. And here it is again. So fashion is art through technology. And Tony Elwood, the director of the NGV, as I mentioned, is very much into technology. He has a director of technology at the gallery, and he was the first in Australia to appoint someone to that position, so that again they could not only put on exhibitions to appeal to the audiences, but they would promote and market those exhibitions through new media, through different outlets that would be the sorts of outlets that different audiences would be using, not just the magazine that I get because I'm a member of the gallery. The people coming to these exhibitions aren't going to be members. They're going to be watching, whether it's TikTok or Twitter or Instagram. And that's where these sorts of things are being promoted. There's also a design wall, which I find highly comical. You can see on the design wall there in front of you that there are skateboards at the bottom, there are chairs, there are consumer products of all sorts. Skateboards are a consumer product. There are electric motorcycles, garden hoses, pillows, all sorts of strange things. Hello from Scotland. This design wall is saying art is not just the oil painting, it is fashion, it is design, it is technology, new and old and everything in between. And here's another picture of that. It has wide audience appeal because of the humour, the range of media, the subject matter, and the digital and real experiences. So here you can see there's boats, there's wetsuits, helmets for people who ride bikes, and it's absolutely massive. Again, you can see the artworks. I just love this this pottery here on the left of the screen, and you can see the audiences there. Two Chinese audience members. The next biggest ethnic group in Australia after the British is the Chinese, and then the Indians. And they are with a white Australian man, Western man. So you can see that the audience is very different from your traditional audience. And they're all using technology. Using technology is really encouraged. Grüß dich aus Deutschland. This shows how this exhibition has brought in different people as audience members. And here you can see some of those audience members on the right of the screen with some of the same art objects. But on the left of the screen, you can see the staff. And the staff reflect the people in the street. So the staff are also multicultural. Now, in the old days, when I first started going to galleries, all the staff were old white men. Now they're men, they're women, and they're of all ethnicities. To make people feel comfortable as if they belong, the staff reflect the people in the streets of Melbourne, making audiences feel, I can come here, this is a place for me. So the curator of this exhibition is Timothy Moore, and he said, Melbourne has an unprecedented population explosion. There are no styles or rules guiding growth. Anything goes. And you can see that in this exhibition. There are lots of school children, and you can see again the school children of different ethnicities. They're not just children from a certain sort of school. They're with their teacher who's also of a multicultural background. And above them, you can see images on the wall of people of different ethnicities. So the exhibition is reflecting the people in the street once again. And finally, just something that I thought was very clever and humorous again, the merchandise for this exhibition is attracting and attractive to the football crowd. Here you can see the merchandise, beanies to wear on your head, socks, long socks like football socks, and Melbourne Now, the catalogue, with the binding not properly finished. It's got that edgy feel to it, and the cover looking something like a poster from a football match. Now, this week in Adelaide, we have the Festival of Football. And in 4 days, we have 9 games of football. And when I say football, I mean Australian rules football, not soccer. Australia has its own football code called Australian rules football. Hello from Canada. And this merchandise attracts a wide range of people reflected in the wide audience mix that come to this exhibition, as much as it is attractive to the arts lover. And it's selling like hotcakes, I might say. So that is Melbourne Now, and a peek look in a couple of slides for Alexander McQueen, looking at technology painting the model in her gown. And here you can see me with the Members magazine, which comes out every couple of months or so, and I'm open to questions. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Any questions from audience here in Singapore? Okay, I might have a question. Ruth, what are some emerging trends in the use of digital technology to create immersive experiences in the arts?
Well, I've seen a number of exhibitions start here. There's one called Illuminate Adelaide, and it's all about the use of light technologies, and much of the festival is at night, and they have special immersive experiences, for example, in the Botanic Gardens, in the Botanic Museum, on the streets of Adelaide, and then they will use the digital technology in a variety of ways to have installations as well as, walk-through experiences. They'll make sure at least a certain number of them are accessible experiences for people who have varying abilities. They may be in a wheelchair or something like that. And I've been on a number of those walks. So it's very interesting to see how those sorts of technologies are changing the nature of what is a festival.
Thank you. That sounds similar to Singapore, I believe. Is there any questions from Norway? Any questions from audience in Norway? Oslo? Okay, if not, I'll have another one. How can immersive experiences through digital technology be used to enhance the educational value of the arts for audiences?
Well, it seems to me that if you're getting in digital audiences interested in digital experiences, you can then uh, use education experiences associated with the exhibition to educate those new audiences about the art. And I know from talking to Tony Elwood, the director of the gallery, that that is one of his maxims. His maxim is, why shouldn't the arts be fun? If you can get people in because it's fun, then you can teach them about great art. So, for example, going back to the Alexander McQueen exhibition, in the way that was curated, they would have the fashion of Alexander McQueen, and in some fashion seasons, he was influenced, for example, by 18th century French fashion. And beside his gowns, they would have some original 18th century artworks. And then there's an opportunity to introduce these new audiences to the classic art history canon, if you like.
Thank you. Is there a question from Tunes? But I can't read it.
I can
It's a
read
bit
it from
blurry
here.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Ruth, the question is, thanks for the interesting talk. And how do we connect people through art without losing their organic experience or aerial art, and also avoid the enormous expenditure of energy?
Uh, do the audiences expend a lot of energy? Is that part of your question?
Blockchain. Yeah.
Oh, blockchain, NFT, this sort of thing. Yes, this is changing the experience, and it's also changing the type of consumer or arts audience. So, one of my PhD students who is going to watch this presentation, I don't know if she's doing it afterwards or now, she is looking at NFT and auction houses, real and, the real and digital world, and what that's doing for the artistic experience. And she's interviewed people who buy the art, sometimes for the aesthetic reason and sometimes for a financial reason. But of course, if you buy NFTs, you're only getting a small share in an artwork, and you can't actually hang it on the wall as you can if you buy the real thing. But it's curious that it's happening, and we don't quite know where it's going yet. A number of these new businesses, very entrepreneurial, have failed, and many have come out of the United States and China. Well, there's only a handful of them, but that's where they've come from in the main, and they've only been going about 5 or 6 years. So it's very, very new. It's very, next gen, and it's going to make a big difference to how traditional auction houses have to behave. And for example, Sotheby's and Christie's now do have online auctions. The pandemic has accelerated that, of course, and it's going to cause a lot of other changes as well. If you look at their annual reports, you can see a vast number of digital changes that they're making as a result of this increasing intense competition digitally in the marketplace.
Yeah, thank you, Ruth, very much. We have a next question to you, which I'm actually also curious about. I joined to this question. The Bulgan is asking, what is your viewpoint on AI art, artificial
Okay.
intelligence?
Yes, artificial intelligence. Well, I'm not sure whether I've quite bought an artificial intelligence artwork. I bought an artwork that had a real and a virtual aspect to it, and it looks like a bit like something from the heavens, planets going round, suns going. Ra- planets going round a sun or something like that. It's highly colourful, but overlaid on that is a digital experience that is different all the time because of the coding that's gone on behind it. And as I said, I don't think that's quite AI yet, but it really is a fantastic piece of art, and I love it. whether I'll be going into AI, uh, robots making art, all sorts of things are happening. Maybe it'll be great if they're programmed the right way. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ruth Rensler. That was the last question we had time for today. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for your interesting talk. And thank you, Norway.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
for
much
being with us
for
today.
interest in talk.
All right, thank you for today, and I think we will run off the program then. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you.